This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 787 for the week of Monday, September 18th, 2023. My name is Zach, and my co-host today is Josh McKenzie. How's it going, Josh?
Always a pleasure. Hi, guys.
Yeah, you got a big promotion this week.
I know. I am Ed.
No, you're actually Steve this week because you're doing the art.
I'll be
and
Steve and Ed.
Oh, wow.
Congrats.
Ambitious.
I'm muscling in while everybody's away. You know, so when they come back, their jobs just won't be here.
Oh, perfect. That's very kind of you. We have this week the two ADR directors for Crunchyroll's One Piece. First, we have Anthony Bowling. How's it going, Anthony?
Hello, everybody. It is going great. Thank you for having me back on, and I'm thrilled that Emily is also on. And I think we both got an upgrade to, we're both getting advanced if Josh is getting
Promotions for everybody.
promotions all around.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast. We don't pay anything, but you sometimes get a free calendar or something.
I'll take it.
And Emily Fajardo, how are you, Emily?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me back. It's good to be here with Anthony. Looking forward to talking about this crazy chapter.
Yeah. This is so we've had like 20 chapters this year or something because of lots of things going on, which feels like around half of the amount we used to get. But they've all been very, very packed and good. And this one especially, I'm Steve and Ed's loss. That's why they got demoted, because they couldn't come on for this one. I mean,
They're my satellites, actually. No.
oh
Oh.
Watch your back.
yeah. Where's your Apple hat? Wait, no, that could be taken several ways. Um,
Apple
Just-
hat in the booth with the fur.
just a little bit of podcast news and One Piece news. First off, we launched our One Piece live action podcast series, which was super impromptu because of the strike obviously going on and so many other reasons. We just did not know if we would have any content for those who were watching just the live action. But last week we had the composers, which was a very good interview. You should definitely listen to Sonia Belosova and Giona Ostinelli, which I know off the top of my head now. That's pretty good. And
Impressive.
thank you. I can't pronounce English names, but I could pronounce apparently Russian and Italian. For some reason. And this week we have Steve Maeda, who was one of the showrunners for the series. And that is a really fun interview. Definitely listen to that. We talked to him for about an hour. And we recorded that like 2 hours before we learned that One Piece was greenlit for a second season, which is fantastic. And I will say, and we were saying before the show, and this is true, it would not have happened if not for the actors and the writers on the show, so please support them. I mean, with this show in particular, particularly, like, the actors are pretty incredible. Like, born for the role, good. So if you can, we'll post links to help those with the WGA, SGA, and there was a third drive I don't remember the name of, but we'll post those links in our description. And beyond that, subscribe to us on Patreon at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. We have lots of cool stuff there. So I think we should just get straight into this manga chapter, because what are we wasting time for?
Yeah, the food's here. It's hot. It's ready to go.
It's true.
We have a buffet of content.
Anthony, like,
Rapidly cooling.
Anthony's getting promoted every time he speaks. Like, everyone
Yeah.
should be watching out.
I gotta catch up here.
Yeah, that's some good co-hosting right there.
I've got your back, man. That's why.
Thank you, Anthony. Oh, this is great. Finally, someone who has my back. Josh and Anthony. I'm set. Emily, too.
I'll resort to violence, though.
Emily's,
well, that's good.
I want Emily to feel like she's allowed to be on the little chaise lounge of this podcast and get to gesture and to at her leisure while we're kind of here
Yeah, sipping libations.
Yes.
Even while
Yeah.
enjoying them.
Yeah.
I love that word.
Yep.
Um,
By libations. Yeah.
talk
Fizzy.
about-
I have a fizzy water.
Sorry, Emily. Please enjoy your drink. We'll get back in a moment with chapter 1092. This is the manga recap for chapter 1092, Kuma, the Tyrant's Holy Land Rampage. That won't confuse me. It's Kuma the Tyrant's Holy Land Rampage. It's just the way. Anyway, you can read this chapter and all chapters as soon as they come out at shonenjump.viz.com or mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. Free, legal, worldwide, and now all of Yu Yu Hakusho is in the vault too. So if you want to read all of One Piece, like if you're for some reason just start with the live action and then jump to chapter 1092, you could read the rest of them too. All 1091 of them at shonenjump.viz.com. I'm not getting paid for it. I just enjoy it. Josh, you're going to be our Ed and Steve this week, so you have to tell us what's happening on the cover page this week.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So we have a reader request. Jinbei being smushed by giant cuddly remoras, requested by Kataha Jime. Excuse me. And it's the cutest Jinbei I've ever seen.
Yeah, this one's a good one.
I sent this to a friend who's a big Jinbei fan, had to take a little screenshot. He's just a little marshmallow there.
What a cute marine biology factoid to include that remoras cuddle.
I like that idea of that's what remoras do.
Yeah.
And not eat the remainder of whatever is
Right,
being
yeah.
eaten.
Well,
like a Sword in the Stone when Merlin turns into a squirrel and that other squirrel's like hidden on him. I think that he'd be like, "Madam, excuse me," pushing these remoras. I'm like, "Oh, excuse me."
yeah. Well, what is parasitism if not a hug? You know.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that got real. I like the concept of giant remoras too. Like,
Yeah.
almost like undoing the concept of them. That they're the same size as Jinbei here. Okay, I could talk about this image forever, but I guess we should talk about the chapter. Emily, all you.
All right. So, starting this chapter out, we are at Marie Joie the previous day. And someone is saying, "The invincible slave has returned. He's finally climbed up to the top. Soldiers, stop him at once." And so we see Kuma all chained up, all hulked out, trying to get out of these restraints he has. And
That's just
got
how he
some-
normally looks.
Yeah, he's just a Hulk man. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Hulk Bear Man. And one of the guards here, yeah, Man Bear Hulk, half man, half
Bear
bear, half
Hulk,
Hulk.
yeah.
And one of the guards says, "We can't. He's unstoppable." Big old Don. And Kuma is huffing. He's all bloodied and beaten here. And someone says he's hell-bent on reaching his destination, whatever that is. And on the next page, he uses a big Ursa shock, big old explosion. We've got people screaming.
I like how the whole landscape curves around that. Because I was like trying to see if
Fisheye
I was trying to see if
yeah.
Pangea Castle got hit in that, because that would be, I feel like, important, but I don't think it does. It's just like it curves.
It has that same energy like when you saw the galaxy impact.
Yeah.
Kind of that far shot with seeing, and then it's got that beautiful paw-shaped bubble.
Yeah. All right. So he's Kuma is down, huffing, and someone far away, there's a figure in the distance who says, "What do you think you're doing? First the revolutionaries the other day, and now this." We zoom in, and it's a Kainu saying, "You must answer for this historic destruction, Kuma. Big Don." And we're on to page 4.
Man, that's me. Yeah, hitting up, as we said, the first panel here, we get a knight that looks similar to a Sabo in disguise, running up saying, "Fleet Admiral Sakazuki." But before we can see the answer to that, you see a boot come clanking down, and a beautiful world noble is standing there complaining. These soldiers are worthless. Akainu, I'll have you know that last night I ordered the lobster and they had the gall to tell me they're out.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Someone equated this, I think, I forget, one of our listeners, to like being mad at the DoorDash guy or something.
No, definitely.
Like that's what Sakazuki has, you know. To be fair, that is kind of what he's been doing since the time skip. He's been taking
It's
orders.
DoorDash.
Yeah.
And now he's out. This is the first time we're seeing.
Yeah. Out of the office.
Out of the office.
Yeah, in eons.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, something's gonna go
And he's
down.
getting yelled at because of his lobster. His lack of lobster. Yeah.
I thought we said we 86 the lobster. And below that, we see now a far shot, and with their backs to us, we see an entire line of celestial dragons standing there, all shouting, "This has never happened before. What becomes of Marie Joie's food supply?" And another screaming, "That's not the most important thing. I've been brutally injured just now. Hurry up and put that tyrant slave Kuma ... to death."
He gave me a paper cut.
Yeah, I was going to say, me when I receive a cat scratch.
Mildly
Made me
inconvenient.
feel bad. And then we have a close-up of Kainu with his cigar and his steely look saying, "Listen up, Kuma." We see Kuma injured, huffing. Akainu continues, "If we can't maintain control of you..." And then we see a shot of them looking at each other. Akainu now has his devil fruit activated. There's some of that magma dripping from his hand.
Call that magma gloop.
That sticky glue foam. And then he says, "Then we certainly can't afford to have you on the loose where you can be a danger to the public. You lost your free will long ago, I'm told." And below that, close-up of Kuma. "So if you're no different from a dead man," Akainu screams, "then where do you think you're going?" And best shot, final panel on this page. Akainu using his signature Hellhound technique, same way he blew off Whitebeard's face.
Yeah, half of Whitebeard's face. But God, that was so. When we started the podcast, that was I think that was like in 2010. I think is when he blew off half his face, which was the craziest thing ever. And Kuma's going through all the same stuff here. Poor guy. It's a one-sided conversation too, because Kuma hasn't said a single word. Because I was gonna say it'll be great to hear Kuma in the dub, but he doesn't say anything.
Doesn't really, and then to hear, now he's gonna have his face blown off, and
Yeah.
Joel will get to huff.
I was gonna say. Josh, I hope nothing else bad happens to Kuma.
I think that was the worst.
Yeah, that was the worst. As an average Akainu enjoyer, Kuma now has half of his face sort of burnt, blown off. Landing from the strike against Kuma, he's got like, "Well, at least you bleed like a man." Kuma makes a dash for it before Akainu can hit him again. "Not so fast, Kuma." And I think he like melts Kuma's foot off.
That's what it looks like.
Looks like it, yeah.
Dissolves his foot, but that's it's gonna have to be okay because Kuma's gonna poof out of here.
God, at least you bleed like a man is like. I mean, I know I wasn't like thinking about like the gravity of just like he's such a dick, and you forget how much of a dick Sakazuki is.
It's a pretty good line for like a dating profile, I would say.
"I bleed like any other man. You shoot lava at me. Do I not lose half my face?"
Yeah, Akainu's Tinder account.
I'm a human being. I do the usual things human beings do, like breathe and bleed.
Yeah.
Please continue,
Akainu's
Josh.
a poet.
So now that Kuma's gone, Akainu's reflecting when he previously had Bonnie sort of captured. So we got a flashback
This was
here.
right before the time skip, right? Sorry to interrupt, Josh.
That's a great. I don't know when this is. Is it right before
I think
the
it was.
time
I think it was. So they did like those cutaway scenes, like just before the official like Luffy putting the hat down and training with Rayleigh, and I think this was one of them for Bonnie. way
Word.
back when. And that same, she had, I think the Blackbeard pirates were on this island trying to kill her or take her, and then Sakazuki showed up, and I guess this is the conversation that ensued.
I remember that in the original they had behind her crew. They had some of the crew and
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
Now that you can see the obscurant to be like, no, we don't need,
Forget about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not important and never come back in any way.
Yeah, they're magma spots on the wall.
Yeah, we spent enough time on making kids crew and we saw how that turned out.
Yeah, you know. I hear the kid fans just crying, I think right now is what I hear.
Maybe they'll just
Yeah.
reskin them for Bonnie's crew.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Oh, not literally. Okay.
He'll skin something.
That'll make our casting job simpler.
That's true. That's what's important.
All right, so this is way back when, but Kainu says to her, "Bark all you like, but Kuma's mind will not return to him. He volunteered to be reborn as a weapon of war." And Bonnie protests, "Liar, he would never choose to do such a thing. He would never." And then flashing
Leave
back
me
to the
behind.
present. Oh yeah, he would never leave me behind.
Leave me behind. Leave me behind. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It's echoing across Marijoa's plaza as he snaps back to the present day. All of the celestial dragons are complaining to the manager. They're filing their complaint forms. Hey, where did Kuma go? You let him escape? Some fleet admiral you are. And he's like, where would you go? A mere puppet with no mind or will left. And we transition back to Egghead.
Right.
Anthony,
I believe.
yeah, take us
Yeah,
there.
this one is me. Which is beautiful. Now we have upper corner Egghead, the new world. Destroy the sea beast weapons. There is a fleet of ships that you can see, and in the background of them, you just see a bunch of explosions, growls, roars. It is the big mechanical sea beasts that are being attacked. In the next panel, we see Pacifista blasting them, and a bunch of them sinking into the ocean. The nice dog and weird upside down koala.
Yeah, koala
Cool.
fish.
Koala fish and a little rhino fish type of thing, but all these big robots.
If they don't sell these, they're the ones losing out. You know?
Man, I would give anything for that big toy Frankie, wind up Frankie.
Yes.
No, I think they came out with one. What was it? I don't remember the line, but I think they came out with one like basically Robo Frankie. I'll find it. Yeah, we talked about it many years ago. I don't know if it's available anymore.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we need
go
the
ahead.
we need the old merchandising of like the He-Man days where it's like anything I see in this, just make it big. So I can put my other toys in it.
Yeah. The what, micro machines? Isn't that the?
Yeah, you could have that, and then you could just be like, put Chopper inside of a Mega Beast. Like, yeah, let me do that.
I like it. Put
Uh,
Luffy inside of a snake for several episodes.
there you go, and he can fight his way out.
Yeah.
We go from underwater, seeing these beasts sink, to a shot of the Marines invading the what is that called? The lab, right here. Forget what it was called. The Phaso.
Labophase.
Labophase. There we go. I was going to say Phaso Lab. Oh, actually, it says it right here. We've landed on the Fabrio phase. Secure the whole island. So the fabrication wing, I guess, where they were making all the lovely food and everything right outside.
Yep. I don't know if I ever put two to two together. That's why it's called that.
I'm assuming.
That's a good assumption. The factories and stuff, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Right outside Punk Records. One of the
That's
Marines.
the Labophase. Yeah, up there.
Yeah,
It'll say in a second. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Next one. Admiral Kizaru has already breached the Labo phase atop the clouds. So they show that. We get our nice big dadam. And when we see what is happening up there, next panel, we see Kizaru getting wailed on by Snake Man, which is a cool reveal to be like, Luffy don't need to go top deck. He chooses what sounds fun at the time.
Yeah,
I'm sure,
that's a good way to put it.
well, I'm also sure he thought, Snake Man, that's speed. I gotta go
That's true.
Right.
quick. Let's go against light. And then we
That's
have
a good point.
If there's one thing we know about Luffy, it's that he delegates. He's a good leader in that way.
He actually, yeah, he is good at that.
He knows food and he knows fighting. Food and fighting is
And apparently delegation.
Fooding and fighting, absolutely.
yeah. When he got the maybe that was the Nika side effect, is he get a little bit of delegation in that too, being a liberator.
It's like management training.
There you go.
Is becoming the sun god is exactly like management training.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's cool to see because Kizaru's actually on the defensive here. He's blocking, and he's saying, "I can see why you're the man who defeated Kaido." Woo-doo-doo-doo, a bee-bo-boo. He's gonna be that's. He just seems like hey, look, everybody, it's me.
No, absolutely. He
No,
does.
I like it. Yes.
He's Bing Crosby now. As he's blocking, very powerful stuff. However, I must ask, what brings a pirate like you to step in and protect a man like Vegapunk? And Luffy screams, "That's what I'm asking." I guess if that's Luffy screaming that, or if it's Kizaru screaming it.
No, I don't think Kizaru screams.
Yeah.
Kizaru has one tone of voice.
And then next panel, we get to see Snake Man going into his full, punches coming from all angles, and Kizaru fists out, kind of probably blocking that. And Luffy screaming the wonderful nickname, "Why do you want to kill the Apple Man?"
Steve Jobs. Wait.
I like to think he just forgot Vegapunk's name.
No, I mean, yeah. I think it's almost a sign of endearment when he doesn't remember the correct name. Like
That's true.
Yamato,
If he remembers your
Trafalgar
name, if he remembers your name, he's screaming it at you directly before punching.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Right.
Yeah, he's either mad at you or you're on his crew.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it.
those are the two.
Everyone, everyone else
no
is
in
just
between.
visual.
Apple Man. And this is... Oh, I guess Luffy is saying, I don't know what the sentence is that he's starting here. I don't want to. As Kizaru just disappears into the ether, up way above the lava face, it looks like. As Luffy continues to stand in his Snake Man, peers upward, saying, "Man, how far away did he fly?" And Kizaru says, in response to the Vegapunk discussion they were having, as if Luffy would be able to continue hearing this conversation going on miles away. I don't want to kill him, obviously. I've known Vegapunk for a long time. Kizaru continues, "So I'd appreciate you staying out of this." And then, describing his power being acceleration, you see, at the speed of light, I'm going to assume, the light ray coming off of Kizaru, it looks like his head starts disintegrating, and then as part of his power. And then, I guess I'll do the sound effects here. Is that right?
That's
Hell
pod
yeah,
racing.
buddy.
Now that's... Yeah.
Now that's podcasting.
Now that's podcasting. Have we not done that joke? So then we see Luffy shielding his eyes from the laser beam. And I think I've said this before. Every time Kizaru shows up or a pacifista shows up, I really love the use of shadows that we generally see. So there's a lot of that in this portion of Egghead. Kizaru seemingly kicks Luffy, just clear. You'd hear what yeeting, I believe, is the term the kids use these days.
I believe the kids say yeeting, Zach.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Josh is our kids' correspondent.
Our hip slang correspondent.
I think the kids are saying yeeting.
Yeah,
That's no cap.
the kids don't say the kids.
A dead ass, folks.
A dead ass for 200, Alex.
So the Vega Force One holding the Thousand Sunny looks around. I'm assuming. Well, I don't know if it has a will of its own. Actually, I have no idea. Surprised and to cut to what happens next to the Vega Force One, he gets cut in half by Luffy and the laser beam. Meanwhile, Kizaru thinking of a conversation he had in the past with Vegapunk about completing that Vega Force 1, a giant robot, the dream of mankind, or at least nerds who really love giant robots like me. And who doesn't love a giant robot? I believe there's a whole series about that.
Parents, they don't understand.
And yeah, sorry, Anthony.
No, you're good.
Okay. On the next page, we see the conclusion of that as the Vega Force 1 just is cut into. Luffy hits the Labophase barrier, which basically would fry you. It is at 100% still. So Luffy's gone. That's it. We're done. But anyway, Frankie and Bonnie are falling from, I believe they were on the Sunny, and Lilith as well. And Lilith, I don't, everything falls to the ground with a boomf. The Sunny looks okay, but shaken up. And Lilith, breathing heavily, says, "Frankie, Bonnie, run." Someone astutely asks why, and when someone says run, you don't do that. As Lilith tries to explain that the Vega Force 1's about to, and boom, Bacam? Yeah, Bacam. There goes Bacam. You heard it here first. The Vega Force 1, for some reason, self-destructs. So I guess getting cut into it hits some sort of something. And this has to be, I'm guessing Lilith. Damn it, no, our robot of dreams, because it sounds like it is a Vegapunk saying that. Although I could see Frankie also saying it, but he says the next line, "How dare he? Is Sunny all right?" And this is Bonnie, I assume, saying Straw Hat got knocked clean away. Frankie saying, "Kizaru, you monster! How could you destroy a robot?" And Kizaru responds, "Oh, look how big you are now, Bonnie. Kids these days grow so fast. Don't you hate Dr. Vegapunk for what he did? There's an assassination order on his head now, so this really works out for both of us if you really think about it, Josh."
Bonnie's having none of that. The situation's changed. My wrath has a new target. Age skewer. Anthony, what voice did you give us for?
Okay, it was a Bing Crosby. Boo, 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 boo.
I'll never succeed in
dad
Oh,
from
sorry, I
Sesame.
should have had some continuity there.
that. I'd rather not hurt any acquaintances outside of my mission parameters. And he hits Bonnie. He kicks Bonnie. Probably gentle for Kizaru, but it sends her zooming all the way across Egghead right into the same laser grid that Luffy went into. Frankie screams, "Hey, wait, not that way!" But there's nothing to be done. She explodes.
And that's the end of Bonnie.
And that's the end of Bonnie. She's gone.
Yeah, two characters dead already. It's only page 14.
Yeah, it's just like Shabandi all over again.
Yeah.
Frankie says, "Bonnie, curse you, Kizaru, radical." Huh? Wait, where'd he go? Because Kizaru has done his light thing. He's gone. Unless, the Stella's in trouble. And he's picked up the transponder snail. Come in, control tower. It's making like a winding sound, I guess. Like, click. Lilith says, "Usopp?" Meanwhile, in the control tower, Usopp says, "Frankie, you okay? We heard a huge blast out there." And in the foreground of the panel, Eureka.
I love this though.
I had a Vegapunk voice a year ago, and I don't remember.
It was we did Einstein-y kind of, or the Dr. Franken.
I was proud of it. It just came to me. It was really inspired.
Okay.
But I don't
remember.
I
That
don't
was
have
a
it.
year ago, I think.
Eureka! The code is cracked. Really? In your face, York.
I love Atlas's reaction.
Oh yeah, just
Get caught, boy.
No,
Doing the
it's
fist.
fun. What she's supposed to be like, anger, rage, something along those lines. Adorable.
Yeah, it's
This
she
is
She absolutely owns York, dragged.
She does.
Um,
The reaction is amazing too.
What? Damn it, no. Stupid geniuses? How could the geniuses have done this?
God, they're so
Me at the
stupid.
Apple Store.
Good Lisa Science Queen.
Vegapunk says, Frankie, we can lower the barrier now. Are the Vega Force 1 and your ship around the back now? And Frankie says, about that. And we have Kizaru, who has appeared from nowhere. Your escape plan is a failure, Vegapunk. I've blown your so-called giant robot of dreams to smithereens. And they're like, oh no. Non-verbal sort of alarm.
Yeah.
All right, so next page. I believe that's Usopp screaming, yeah! And someone yells, Kizaru! Yeah, we're goners! And there's, we can see Brook, Usopp, Vegapunk, and, who's that? Edison?
Edison, yeah.
All,
Atlas
yeah,
and Edison.
Yeah, Atlas and Edison, yeah. All freaking out.
Three
Kizaru's-
Vegapunks
yeah,
and
yeah,
other people.
all reacting. Kizaru is in the room, standing there nonchalantly. Someone asks, when did you get here? And Kizaru, I can't do the Bing Crosby voice, says, please understand. This is very difficult for me to do. For me too. I'd rather not draw it out. Vegapunk has a surprised reaction. There's a big kaboom. And we hear a voice saying, that hurt! Yeah. And that's, Luffy has burst through. Gigantic Gear 5 form. He grabs Kizaru like a little G.I. Joe. Big Sid from Toy Story energy.
Yeah. But you know that's Luffy.
Yep. Yeah, Jim Carrey the Mask style says, woo, that was a bit spicy. And
Props to,
Vegapunk-
I don't know if that's Steven or Oda, but I love the shit out of that line. That's
Oh my
fantastic.
god. Yeah. And we can see Usopp and Nami with their eyes bugged out, as we saw before when they saw Gear 5. Vegapunk also has bugged out eyes.
I did not notice Atlas's under the dome. Creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, where?
Because one of them
Oh,
you can't
yeah!
even, like, right under the
Her
dome.
Her like
Oh my
floating
God.
eye there. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Wow.
but the left one is just an eye socket
Boy.
because the rest
Yeah.
of it is being... Oh,
Horrifying.
oh my god. That is nightmarish.
Yeah, so we've got Vegapunk screaming, what? And Kizaru says, there it is, so this is the thing you do.
Look at his
And,
lip there.
the
What is
thing you
happening?
It's I love that lip motion.
I mean, but at the same
Yeah.
time, very fitting for that character. That is correct, but also horrifying.
All right, so Luffy says, thanks for knocking me all the way down, jerk. Almost thought I was gonna die, going through that barrier twice. And we see the sound effect, the doom da 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 of Luffy's heartbeat, and we see the ancient robot suddenly wake up. Its eyes light up, much in the way that Zunisha's did when he
200
heard the
years
drums.
later.
So yeah, heard the drums of liberation. We've got a whom sound effect as it comes to life, and that is the end of the chapter.
Wow. That's
That's the end of One Piece.
the
Yeah,
The end of Jewelry
we did it,
Bonnie.
guys. That's it.
It says to be continued, and I tend to believe
Yeah.
those. It's been right the last
Not this time.
1,900, 1,081
Right.
times.
Thus far.
1,091 truths and a lie.
I hate that game. Oh, too many truths. Emily, what did you think of the chapter?
What a cool chapter all the way around. Yeah, I loved seeing Akainu get away from his desk for once. That was fantastic.
I
It's
didn't.
very cool that we have all three admirals fighting in the same arc.
Two.
Yeah. Well, we have three at least of the former admirals. We've got Kuzan fighting too, and now we have I loved the little bit of humanization we saw for Akainu too. I mean, I liked the I feel like he was projecting quite a bit with the way he was yelling at Kuma. I liked the setup of the world nobles yelling at him about the lobster, and then him losing it on Kuma about him being a puppet and having no mind of his own, and basically being this mindless thing that obeys orders. I'm interested to see what happens with him. I think some things are being set up for him that are very interesting. We could potentially see him come to terms with everything that he has been following being a lie. I really want to know what Kuma's doing. I wonder if that's going to lead to some sort of reckoning morally for Akainu.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
Are you seeing like a face turn for him, do you think?
I wonder. I would like to see that.
He is a gigantic dick.
He is a gigantic dick, but
As an Akainu truther, I support this.
No. You've been
Listen.
demoted, Josh.
Yeah.
yeah,
He turns
Yeah.
his marine cap around and it says,
Yeah, exactly.
make Marine fourth grade again.
Oh.
oh no.
If any character.
If anyone, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be a good guy so much as just have a dark night of the soul where he realizes how, how
Shove
terrible
air
everything
moment.
is. Exactly,
Yeah.
a throwing himself off the bridge moment. But
I'll
Yeah.
hellhound my own face.
yeah,
Now I'll have half
Yeah.
a face.
yeah,
A quarter of a face? He already only has half a face.
yeah, and boy, do I love that last panel of Luffy holding Kizaru like a little toy. Yeah, he's got that face like that meme of what is that, of Tom Holland drowning with Zendaya in the front. Like he's like this ain't about him. Yeah. But what a fun chapter. I loved it.
Anthony.
I mean I agree. These have been the pacing after leaving Wano just ramped up so quick. You had a murder mystery. They're bringing back all these classic characters. You get these upgrades. Now all these admirals are out. It's setting up the stage for, I mean, we still have a elder right there outside too. So I don't know if this is setting up to be something of a, well, if Kizaru's going down and he used to be like kind of the epitome, what do you do if Luffy's holding the, I mean, he's now an emperor, man. He's like Kaido. So that comes with something. I think that also shows in the previous chapters where they didn't even need to show the Straw Hats fighting and winning. They're an emperor's crew. We know that, like when you see Shanks doing something, they're usually just cleaning their hands, dusting off their shoulders, saying, "Hey, we're an emperor crew." And to see everyone getting that respect out of the Straw Hats, and now we're following admirals, we're following the villains, we're following Bonnie. I
That's a
just
good way
want
to put that.
yeah, I just want to find out what's going on with that memory that Bonnie saw. I really thought they'd kind of reveal that, but maybe that's for a specific turn. But that's why, I mean, they're just cranking everything up to another level on these. And man, every time Luffy goes Gear 5, you got to wonder, like, we know how strong he is, but this can't just be it. He can't just be Gear 5, I win, Gear 5, I win.
Yeah.
So
There's got to be some kind of toll.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could deal. I really
love
enjoyed
that,
Gear
but
5. But
I think it's just great to see, yeah, what's going to cause him to fight, like, you know,
yeah.
the next step. So I love it, man. They are gearing up, and no pun intended, or pun intended, whatever you want.
Whatever's funnier.
Whatever you, the viewer at home. This is a create your own podcast. Once again, it's
You
take
can
what you
edit
want.
this together however
Take
you
your
like.
own smaller podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
No. I was gonna say that's kind of my little with a bow, but something, if I could ask real quick off on a tangent. Since I came into the series very late, is it a kind of nostalgia kind of thing for older readers when like what was his name? The axe dude,
Sentomaru.
Sentomaru, because or was he a character that like when people saw him, they're like, that makes sense, or was he just kind of like a, oh, they picked someone?
So he was originally introduced as Vegapunk's assistant, right? I think like way
Mhm.
back.
Because he was introduced at what, Shabandi, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as and he also had a relationship with Kizaru, so this had kind of been set up.
Okay, so they
Yeah.
did kind of set up that. I didn't know
He
if it was
did.
that
Yeah,
case where
no.
they kind of picked
Both.
someone like, oh, he's kind of adjacent, but okay, it made sense. Okay.
I mean, this arc has been, and I think it's fair to say, like, Oda's really taking advantage of the length of his series and that he is bringing back a lot of characters we have not seen in a while or only seen in the background,
Yeah.
which gives this arc a very unusual feel. I don't know good or bad yet, but like having a lot of older villains coming back in different roles or older um, adversaries, just people that we have heard about. But it does make sense given the circumstances. I still don't understand why the CP9 folks got a promotion after failing.
Yeah, they don't.
That's what I thought
They do
too.
not deserve it. The round one.
No.
Mm-mm.
No, that's the one exception.
No, the
That's
round
the
one should be CP. I don't know, 12. What's lower than 9?
No, 9 is it doesn't go like that.
Demote the round one.
He amuses
You're not even
me.
going to say the name.
I don't know his name. I don't remember it.
Is it Fukuro?
but yeah.
Wait,
Fukuro, yeah.
yeah.
God, I lost it too, and I was
Yeah.
too embarrassed to say anything. Go ahead, Anthony. Sorry,
I was gonna say, so that's me. What about you? Who goes? Yeah, Zach
Josh.
or you?
No,
Josh.
I go last. I talk enough.
Yeah, I want to echo both Anthony and Emily's points because, like, what I've been waiting for sort of since Wano ended was this, to use her words, a dark night of the soul for Lucci, because I think he can only take so much humiliation at the hands of the world government. And I feel something sort of similar this chapter, with the Akainu. He can only be the Akainu complaint department, I think, for like a very limited amount of time. And I agree that I don't think either character is going to become an ally per se, but I could see them very much having a common enemy with the Straw Hats and, the resolution of this arc, the next arc, whatever.
Yeah, heel turns feel kind of overused at this point. I think that they wouldn't rely too much to be like, hey, now Akainu's good, now Kizaru's good, now
Yeah.
For-
I think they're. Go ahead.
Okay. For Lucci, I feel like it's more that he's opportunistic. Like he knows when he is in a bad situation and will just take advantage of the people around him for that situation. So at first, obviously he was in control at first, and then when things started going south, he's like, okay, I'll team up with the Straw Hats against the Seraphim, because I think whatever, he bet on those chips. And then when the world government was coming, he's like, okay, I'm good now. I could. Not I'm good now, I'm bad now. And I can take
I'm
advantage.
evil again, yeah.
Oh, I'm evil again. Like, yeah. I think him and Sakazuki are both jackasses in the truest sense, in that they, well, not that they're donkeys, but that they're just, that was an awful joke, I'm sorry. Just that they are not good people, and I never see them having a real redemption, and I agree with you that, nor should they. Like, much like Arlong, those are characters that don't really deserve redemption, nor do they seem like they're heading that way.
No, I don't see like a face turn for them per se, but I do think both,
the alignment of interest thing, though.
Both Lucci and Akainu, I think one of their like defining traits is that they're like prideful, and I just think they can only take being dogs of the state for like so long before they hear one more whining complaint about lobster and they're just going to behead that guy. Like it just seems.
I mean, that's kind of where
logical.
Fujitora is, because if the last time we saw Fujitora and Ryokugu was during the stuff that was going on with the revolutionaries on Marijoa, and Ryokugu loves being a dog of the military. That's like his thing. He is just, that's all he wants to do.
Oh, he's our boot-licking king. Absolutely.
He just loves that. He
You
would
like
be
this,
The
Daddy?
taste of boot.
Absolutely. But Fujitora is like the exact opposite end of that, is that I think he must have joined the military for reasons he thought were just like a smoker-esque kind of. And it's, Fujitora I do not see lasting much longer. They really seem to be pushing him.
He blinded himself for justice, man. He's committed. He saves people. I think he's about the people, and now saying
and he
that,
likes Luffy.
yeah. I mean,
If you like Luffy, you're a good guy.
you're a good guy.
That's how the series works. There's no good guys or bad guys, but if you're,
Luffy.
it's who likes Luffy. That's the
Who
spectrum.
feeds Luffy?
Yeah.
Who feeds Luffy, exactly.
Yeah. That's the spectrum you use for good guy, bad guy. Josh, sorry.
No, I mean, my only other point was because I read the last like 12 or 13 chapters today to sort of catch up.
How was that? How was it like?
So good.
Because we've had like month-long breaks between every chapter recently.
To read it as a block is so good. I loved everything with the Revolutionary Army because I liked being away from Egghead, because Egghead is like a lot of like frenetic like running and shouting about grids and barriers and whatever, and it's like,
is that not your thing, Josh?
No, it's great. I just like to break it up with like secrets being revealed and people plotting in rooms. That's fun for me. Like the part with are we going with Emu or Imu was really exciting.
Emu. Like the bird.
We love them. But I like seeing everybody come back. It was fun to see Wapple escape with Vivi. It was great to see like Shirahoshi and her brothers. I mean, I love that this reverie setting makes it convenient to see everybody again. So yeah, I like the little reunion special we're having.
What's the wrap-up reunion? Kind of like,
yeah.
Let's all gather here for the ball to drop so we can say goodbye.
Yeah,
well, it's not like the reality show one where after everyone talks about, oh god, that Kizaru was such a dick. Yeah, Josh, anything else?
No.
Yeah, I love the hell out of this chapter. This was like a good fighting chapter, like, which the reason I'm in into One Piece is the character and the story. The fighting is a fun thing that comes along with those two things for me. But he is good at showing some good fights, and this is no exception. Every time I see Gear 5 Luffy, and I get like overpowered. I don't know if that's the word that power scalers use. But
OP is what the kids are saying.
OP. It's OP and OP. But every time Gear 5 Luffy comes on screen, I cheer. I'm that person, like, especially Giant Gear 5 Luffy. Like, this is such a fun panel. This last one, like, I could talk about that for a while. Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
I'm sorry, I just got excited because thinking, like, if we're going to Elbaf next, I mean, Giant, like, watching Luffy just sock it out with a giant or something if he has to, that's gonna be pretty rad.
I've been rereading Whole Cake Island because I haven't revisited it since we did it week to week, because the week to week thing sometimes. And in the Big Mom flashback and all the Elbaf stuff, I'm just like champing at the bit for Elbaf, as Usopp and Luffy are. Yeah, so like all of the stuff is good. I think Kuma is heading to Egghead.
I think so
because
too.
It would explain why we're waiting on that story, which hadn't made sense to me either up until this chapter. I wonder what he was going to marry Joa to do specifically, but it seemed like he had to abandon that for the next thing. Or to tell Bonnie or something to do it, or to tell some Vegapunk, or I don't know. I'm very curious what this like final mission thing seems to be with Kuma, and I know it's going to be heartbreaking whenever we do see that backstory, and I will be weeping the entire time, without a doubt. And if I'm not, I'm going to be really disappointed in Otis specifically.
You'll have a complaint for the Kizaru complaint department, the Akainu complaint department.
Akainu.
Yeah.
I like,
Another paper on the pile. Yeah.
Do you subscribe to the jewelry Bonnie is really a kid, and that's why like this whole time she's been having to eat so much and do that. And the reason why everyone's like, oh, kids grow up so fast, and like, oh, she's just a girl. And
Yeah.
they haven't done a flashback because when they do, you're going to see her real age and
Why didn't I
probably.
think of the kids grow up so fast one?
That's true.
We talked. That is it.
Yeah.
Am I a subscriber to it? I don't know
It's
if I
fun.
want to call myself a subscriber, but I like totally get it.
I think it would explain how she seems to have problems with like emotional regulation, like kids do.
Yeah, but a lot of adults have those
Yeah.
problems.
Especially in One Piece.
Yeah, but they're very exaggerated in her. It just seems like that would.
And
Make
she
Yeah.
gets along well with Luffy, and Luffy
Yeah.
gets well with two kinds of people, and that's kids.
No, not Momonosuke.
That's true. Well, yeah,
There you
They
go.
hated
Yeah.
each other.
I'll say little girls. I'll say like Otama
Yeah.
loved her.
Yeah.
You know, he protects those and big brother. He's big sibling energy.
Mhm.
He has
So,
big sibling energy, Luffy.
Yeah, when it
Which
comes
is funny
around-
because at the beginning of the series, you think of him as like a little sibling, and the rest of the crew is taking care of him. But at this point in the story, you're right. Very
Yeah.
big sibling energy.
when he punches Kobe.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's yeah, not a good big sibling, but a big sibling nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
An accurate one.
Inaccurate one. Yeah, I think Kuma is heading to Egghead, and that's especially interesting with what we see at the end. So I was looking up the story of the robot because it happened in November 2022. So my memory of it, as I'm sure many listeners are, is not great. So Vegapunk originally said that this is the legendary Iron Giant of movie fame that is said to have attacked Sacred Marijoa around 200 years ago, but it was built 900 years ago, and it ran out of energy, but its goal was never understood. They say that there was no damage, I think, at Marijoa is where, yeah, it attacked Marijoa. I said that earlier, 3 seconds ago. And that the scientists at the time were shocked by the event of the sheer scientific power beyond comprehension. And the world government ordered it destroyed, but the scientists didn't because they were curious. So 200 years ago in the One Piece world isn't super long ago. It's after Nolan, right? I think that was
Yeah, wasn't that like
couple.
4?
Yeah.
yeah.
It was several hundred years, I think.
Yes.
Since I was talking about the Elbaf stuff, there are many giants who were around at that time, including Dory Brogy. I believe they're like 100 or 200. Maybe they were little kids. Yeah, so that's interesting. Just I think how this is all going to play out and how much this. I'm curious how this is all going to lead into Elbaf because obviously things aren't going the way they were meant to go. But yeah, it was a spicy chapter. That's what I have to say about it.
I wouldn't be mad if like this fight with Luffy and Kizaru is like more like Looney Tunes stuff, but I'm having
Yeah.
this like brain demon, okay, of him squeezing
Oh, no.
Kizaru like a Pez dispenser. You know, just like specifically the image of like a Pez dispenser is like haunting me.
Do you just want to draw that?
I already did. I already did draw it.
Way ahead of us. I thought.
I guess I'll write it down then.
I'm waiting for them to call in all of these other things that I thought were going to come into play, like the boots are magnetized and you can turn them on and off,
Yeah.
and they can touch light, and then Bonnie has that cool lightsaber, and they have the bubble gun and all
Yeah, but
that.
it had all the bugs coming after the lightsaber.
Hey, I mean, give it to Zoro. You got
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who
Yeah,
in the
but-
crew likes bugs. Usopp, I think, was the one who really likes bugs.
That's
We'll give it
true.
to him.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Luffy, who uses it for no reason.
He throws a scabbard. Like
Any
a
other
Moana.
any other final thoughts?
You what?
Okay. Oh,
Spicy.
so Josh will finish drawing that Pez dispenser, I assume. We'll see what ended up being this week's episode image in a minute. Or in a minute. You guys know. We'll see soon. And yeah, why don't we move into the next segment? Hey everyone, we have Anthony and Emily here, and I'd be remiss if we did not talk at least a little bit about the excellent dub. from Crunchyroll. I always want to say Funimation, but it is now Crunchyroll. How many
Crunchimation.
years has it been now? Crunchimation?
Yeah.
So, I mean, first off, we've had the awesome opportunity to talk to a lot more voice actors recently, and I know you two do voice acting as well. Don't worry, but specifically when it comes to One Piece, just like talking a little bit about ADR directing, we talked to the lead performers all together, which was so much fun. Gabe, Major, and Bill. And
Great.
we talked to Michelle and Kaylee and just a lot of the cast from Wano. And we were talking a second ago just about how amazing your casting has been, and also how you don't constrain yourself just to the Japanese voices. I think like you take your liberties to make it sound like the character should sound like. I've been talking a lot about adaptations lately with the live action, and I think it is really nice to see that. I don't have a question. I'm just gushing about the no, but Anthony and Emily, do you want to? Wano is getting eventually going to end. How has it been working on this saga that could be a series or several series of its own?
Insane. So fulfilling, so emotional. We've had such a good time. I mean, what you described with it being in the spirit of the Japanese, but oftentimes different in terms of voices, is what we go for. We tend to look for people who capture the spirit of who the character is, but in a way that's going to translate to the to English speaking audiences. But we draw a ton of inspiration from what happens in the Japanese. It is just so beautifully done, and we do our best to honor it and to honor all the work that has gone not just into the voiceover but into the animation. It is a crazy thing to work on. It is such a, I mean, you can watch it and see how many incredible minds have gone into working on this and creating this and making it special.
All
So
of
it's
them.
yeah, all of them. It's unbelievable. It is just such an honor to work on it.
Yeah, and I'll gush on Emily. She has been the like biggest help during this. I got I think last time I was on there on here I was saying I got started right at the end of Punk Hazard. So
Right.
I was going through, I've done the Star Wars Empire Jedi, Zoe, Whole Cake, Wano, and it's cool because I haven't really had a chance throughout this whole opportunity to insert and be kind of a part of the narrative. And when Kawamatsu came along,
Yeah.
loved that character, and Emily has been so helpful because I hate directing myself, and sometimes we have to do that, and I'm like, Emily and I just gel so well on what One Piece is. It's just so nice to step in the booth and to hear her mirror, man, me thinking, this line and maybe that, and then to see her change and go, let's try this. um it's the heart and soul of us trying to find, no, what's the character, like when you see whether it's live action manga, from page, or like animation, whether you know the language or not. When you see Queen, they're gonna have a big attitude, they're gonna be singing, they're eccentric, and that's why it was like Major was wonderful,
Yeah.
to bounce off of that and bring that flavor and that attitude. And man, watching some of those episodes that Emily's directed, like it's fun to say, well, I did these ones, and for her to go, well, I did these, and then not really get to see them till they come out on Crunchy, and then it's like, oh, that was a great read, or that was hilarious, and see how like the narrative, when you're true to the characters, that narrative just flows. You don't see who's directing. You just
Mhm.
know that the Straw Hats and everyone are in it. These attitudes carry you through the story. So that's been the biggest joy, I think, getting to work with Emily and having this Wano arc come to a conclusion. So it's been really cool.
I
I
totally
love the hell out
agree.
of Kawamatsu too. I just
Yeah.
need to say.
Oh, he's the best. Yeah.
Such
It's
a good
been
boy.
so much
Yeah.
fun. I feel like both of us just come to work and like see each other and immediately start fanning out to each other, which has been the best energy in the world to have. Anthony is so passionate and just so in tune with what exactly this show is and what it needs, and it's wonderful to just come to work and have a buddy, and to we're in the trenches together, just having a blast.
It's good to have a blast in the trench. Well, no, that doesn't.
Wait, what?
Nope.
No.
Yeah,
We're-
but yeah,
we're there.
Gonna
wait,
take a step back.
that sounded dark.
No, it's a good time to be a One Piece fan, and I'm sure it is a really good time to be working on the series, particularly since things are winding up. We only have like 10 or 15 years of story left, probably. It's really great having the two of you on, and I hope we have the two of you on together. Is there anything else you want to mention about just, I mean, we can't talk about like where you are in the dub process, but if there's anything recently or,
Every day has just been. We can't say specifically where we are, but every single day has been something crazy these days, in the best possible way. We come
that
to
could be
work
any
and,
point in Wano.
yeah, it's true. But no, in particular, we're at a point right now where it's all coming together, and it's really exciting to see everybody kind of reaching the peaks of their character within this particular arc, and to watch each person get their big moment.
Yeah. It's been really cool.
And also, since we started the podcast, I think a year before is when Funimation started dubbing it, and being basically caught up today. I mean, just a handful of episodes is insane. You guys did a very good job. I don't know how you did. I mean, particularly the two of you, because you've been doing this. I mean, I don't know, like behind the scenes, but the most recent swath, incredible.
Thank
Crazy.
you.
Thank you.
We hit a rhythm, and I think that's what it is Emily and I found that nice place between fandom, respect, and our job, where we can hit all three of those to say, yeah, as a fan, the episodes are never going to be done. As a fan, I could work on an episode forever till it's perfect for someone, but Oda Sensei, how does he put out the perfect chapter, quote unquote? He doesn't. He just tells a story that needs to be told, and that's we're fortunate enough to where they have everything's done for us. Now we get to dig into the character and bring that to life, and I think that's satisfaction, is just showing you, hey, we're not reinventing the wheel, but what we can do is these little moments that speak to, oh yeah, now I get it, now I understand why, because now I understand the language, rather than reading subtitles trying to figure it out. You're looking at the action, even reading the manga, but I think now when you get to hear it, you get to hear the passion in their voices, and just Emily and I try and whip our actors into that frenzy of be in the world, and you can hear that passion. You hear it when Yamato was introduced, Michelle is a huge fan of the show as well, and to give that, back in the day, Ben Balmaceda being Pedro, Aaron Campbell as Pero, they are such huge fans, and when they portray these characters, you feel the love. You can hear them carefully saying, no, this is who I need to be, much in the same way an actor would portray him,
Right.
And I think that's why we love the live action, is they wrote them well, they took care of them, and that's the quality that comes with when you let creatives kind of have that wheel.
And it's true it's true of our Straw Hats too. They are not people that started out as fans, but have become so passionate about these roles and this show. You watch all of them just light up in there. It is the best feeling to see each person in this cast connect so much with these characters.
Yeah, I like remember talking to Colleen back in like 2011 about it, and she accidentally predicting Amazon Lily and a bunch of other stuff. But like you could tell everyone has like become huge fans of the series, which is so it's so surreal. We could have the two of you on for a manga recap, to talk about the latest thing. Like, it's changed so much. Like the fact that people are actually like where we are, and it's I don't know if heartwarming is the right word, but it's really cool to be able to talk to you guys, to be able to talk to voice actors, and be literally on the same page is so much fun. Um, yeah, so it's awesome to have the two of you here.
It's awesome to
Um,
be here.
Uh, I would love to, maybe in the future. I know it's getting big, but if we could get the people who have to adapt, and if we got manga and live and ADR together, just to even round table a nice like, I would love to sit and be like, oh my gosh, when we had to do
yeah,
the transponder snail sounds, what do you do? And you hear it in the live action, or you hear it in the J, and you hear it with us, and it's cool just to be like, yeah, the hurdles you have to go through. I love the nuts and bolts of dissecting what makes One Piece great,
Hmm.
and how do we all see it like, distinctly different, but you were all hitting those same points. Like all roads lead to that Nakama heartfelt energy where it's like, yeah, as long as you're hitting that found family vibe with everyone and you
yeah.
fall in love with the characters, man, that's One Piece.
Now I have to do that. I have to try putting that together. When the strike is over, I don't see why that can't happen. With at least some of the creatives in all of those. Um, okay, I have a new project to work on, I guess, for the
Get that.
next few years. Send me more ideas, Anthony.
Of course. Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, I want to let Emily go too. So thank you, Anthony and Emily, for talking a little bit about this, and we'll have a more in-depth conversation, I'm sure,
Yeah,
Thank
thanks so much,
you.
you
in the
guys.
future.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a good one. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. Feel
Always.
free to
All right. See you tomorrow, Anthony.
bye. See you tomorrow. We'll talk about the new episode.
go. See you at work. This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories and send them straight to the Akainu complaint department. He's got to be the one to listen to why you don't like him. We hate you because. Let's start with this piece, our Discord questions from our paying listeners. Josh, what do you have?
From our premium Diamonds Club
Yeah.
listeners, Cram asks, Ahoy OPP, banger chapter as always. Sobbing at Kuma as always. What's going on with him? And great to see, even after waiting for this rematch for over a decade, Kizaru is still a huge threat for our favorite god boy. My question is, what would the robot of your dreams look like?
I went in a different direction.
Yeah. A non sequitur at the end there.
It's like an SAT question at the
This
end.
is an SAT question. I mean, my thought is just the giant Gundam in Japan that already exists. Like, what it?
But it would just be at your house.
Yeah, in front of my house. I'll just be standing there, intimidating people on Halloween. They'll think it's a. I don't know, Josh. What's the giant robot of your dreams?
Okay. Well, I just worked on a show with a bunch of robots.
Oh, you
so
did. That's true.
I'm very robot pilled. I would want something like, because all the well, that's not true. There's a bunch of animal transformers, but like I want like a big bear robot, right? But I don't know, kind of spacey. I want like that Y2K rounded.
You're
sort of
describing Kuma.
situation. No, it's different. He has a helmet.
Oh, okay. He has a
I'm picturing
Kuma with a
something
helmet.
something very Space Channel 5y, very, very rounded, very white and chrome, that kind of thing. It's the robot of my
do you
dreams.
Do you have a robot of your dreams?
Now, this is not within the like One Piece confines,
No, it
right?
could be
It's
anything.
everything. Man, well, it's gonna have to have like capabilities to go through air, land, and sea.
Hmm.
So, I mean, is it going to be a vehicle that turns into a robot? Or is it a big mech that maybe like
Hmm.
Ranger style, like a Zord? I mean, maybe that would be it. Like maybe it's a type of big animal so it can go on the land or sea or whatever. And then
It's a maximal.
it's a max.
Or a Zoid isn't the well no I guess
Yeah,
they didn't really go.
I think the proper term is Zoid. I
Yeah, the biological term is Zoid.
don't know because I'd picture like either that or like a house that just stands up and it's got like a robot body and my house is its head, and
That's the
like,
Simpsons one that catches on fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I want like a big functional one so that way if I want to move, my house just stands up full body style. But it's like
That's
a
a
big
good. That's a good answer. God, I think once you hit a certain age, you want a practical robot that could be
yes.
used.
I don't need to fight. I just need to move so it just stands up and then plants itself back in the
Or gives you
you-
like, or that food dispenser thing from Vegapunk's thing that just gives you any type of food you want.
Oh,
Mhm.
man.
That is a robot I want. That's
A
a good
robot
answer.
for chores is what you guys are asking for.
Yeah, Roomba. We wish that we were Roombas.
Robot of my dream is a Roomba.
My robot of a dream is a
DJ
Roomba that could get all the dog hair off of my floor successfully. I have 2 labs. Next question, Josh.
Big Mike asks, "Hey OPP, in the last SBS, somebody asked Oda if they can eat rice balls squeezed by Robin's beautiful hands. They did. I was there for that. So, what female One Piece character's beautiful hands would you like to eat rice balls squeezed by?" I didn't.
You
read
should not
this
have asked this question.
I didn't read any of these before that.
What about we should probably reverse it. Whose hands would you not want it squeezed by? If you're going to ask a question like that's the answer. You know what? That's the answer. Perospero, I don't really want candy flavored rice balls. That sounds
Sweet onigiri.
Yeah, and with all the licking.
Is there a because I would say in a purely culinary sense, maybe like pudding, Charlotte
Yeah,
pudding,
yeah.
rice balls, or like, is there someone who has like a natural like I have the salt fruit?
Yeah, I was gonna say is a salmon fishman. Just
Oh, you know what? I bet like Shirahoshi, like the sea people, I bet they make really good. Like it already has the sushi flavor in it, so you just
I
have.
still find still I was gonna say it still feels cannibalistic, but yeah, okay.
That's
You know,
also
it always
Shirahoshi.
has.
It would be like the rice ball would be the size of a car.
Oh yeah.
But you know,
Yeah, it'd be big enough for your house robot to carry
Yes,
around
indeed.
with it. Yeah.
I'm hungry enough right now that sounds great. I'll go for that.
I think Magellan would be the worst, right?
Oh.
Ooh, he would do it on the toilet.
Right.
And it would also poison you. I forgot about his power. I just went straight to the fact that he poops too much.
No, I mean he's vile in all senses of the word, so you just don't want it.
Oh, I love Magellan.
I would
I
eat
mean,
Smoker's
he is
rice
vile,
balls. I
but-
feel like Smoker would really put a lot of care.
No,
Ooh.
it would taste like tobacco.
Would be like eating a tobacco ball.
It would be like
But-
eating a tobacco ball.
Yeah, but he worked so hard on it, Zach. You know he did. He toiled at his desk.
No, I
Fuji-
believe it.
Fujitora, I bet, makes a good rice ball.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah.
like what's that? The Who movie? He's like Tommy. He's a pinball wizard with making rice
Fujitora,
balls.
the rice ball wizard.
Yeah.
I like how we took this question, how it should have been asked.
Yes. This is what you wanted to ask.
A lot
Yeah.
of our fans like doing SBS style questions, and Josh should have read it first. Go ahead.
Reverse Iñaki Godoy asks, OPP, I have a question for you. Why do you want to hurt the Apple Man? Are you more of PC people?
I think
I do prefer PCs.
No, I'm an Apple man. I've been Apple pilled, as you would say, Josh.
You've
as
been
the
Apple
kids
pilled.
say.
As the kids would say.
Kids say.
Is that what the kids were saying? Apple pilled?
Yeah. What about you, Anthony? Are you an Apple guy?
Yeah, but that was mainly because I'm so bad at computers back then. Like my friends would be like, "You really just have to buy a card and put it in here," and I'm like, "You already like when I had that's when you lost." When I had to do something. So yeah, and I've been Apple because they just kind of link up, but I'm lazy like that.
Yeah.
No, you're
It's
right.
it has
there.
the easiest interface, I think, definitely. They know what they're doing. They know. The
You
Apple
know it.
Man knows.
Two left. Hey OPP. Oh, Hopkins Hat asks, "Hey OPP, how it be? Akainu sure likes melting half of people's faces off. What One Piece character would look better if Akainu melted half of their face?
Caribou again is the right answer. For all of these,
It would kind of butch up Caribou.
does he need to be butched up? Is that Caribou's problem, Josh?
It couldn't hurt.
Could.
I think they should do it to someone like a giant, like oh, what was his name? It was Lin's ex-husband. He was Pound, that big
Pound.
Pound.
Yeah.
Like he has such a big
Ooh.
head that if you blasted half of it off, it would look like a gumball half. But it's
You see, the live action taught me that these things don't seem gory in cartoon land, but then you think about it in like real life, and that is horrifying. Also, like Whitebeard's brains would have been,
they just got his mustache. Luckily,
in the anime.
yeah,
In the manga, they got his head.
his whole freaking head.
But that's like the cool part of that. It's like, Jesus, he's still like going at it with half his head. Oh no, half his mustache. How did he keep fighting?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all fun and games in the comic when Zoro loses like 9 liters of blood, but in real life, it would look like the Evil Dead or something, just slipping. And sliding
That one
around.
was, I think, supposed to get you like that. To be fair, the nothing happened scene is supposed to look like that. I think. Yeah. What's the next question?
Wisdom Pythagoras says, "Hey OPP, do you think we'll ever get an explanation for how Vegapunk was able to phase and/or teleport from the Fabrio phase to the Laba phase earlier in this arc? If he can do that, can't he just teleport away from Kizaru?" To which I say, no.
Thank you, Josh, for that definitive answer there.
Called it.
Yeah, I can't argue with Josh's logic there. I don't know. I still feel like we have a lot to see about Vegapunk. Like beyond the Kuma, like there's still this arc, and I meant to say this earlier, has been so fast paced. We haven't had like, I feel like every arc, Wano, even like the recent ones, Wano, Zoe, Whole Cake, you have some downtime, like some quiet time. Um, Almost, I can't think of an arc that, except maybe like Impel Down and that kind of stuff, where it's been so fast paced. We are missing a lot of that kind of backstory stuff, which I assume we're gonna get at some point. Vegapunk fascinates me as a character, despite him looking like the goofiest, Apple Man you've ever seen.
And we've been waiting for this guy, and he shows up, and it's like, okay,
No, I
Right.
thought it was perfect. I mean, that's One Piece, is that you think
Yeah,
he's going to be this cool, badass scientist, and he's like Apple Man.
yeah.
I think that's why all this stuff for me is like at Reverie is like hitting so good, because it was nice to not be frantic at Egghead for a minute. So even though it's not answering any of the Egghead questions, it's like a moment to breathe and intake.
It was
other
more than a moment. It
information.
was like a volume to breathe.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah. It's a lot of breathing. And plus, there were like 10
Yeah,
breaks.
it was all summer, I believe,
Yeah.
of breathing.
But you were saying, Josh, that rereading it, now that you kind of have that pacing, like you can see, like it's good when you read it all together, where it's like, oh, this is,
I need to do that
yeah.
Yeah.
one of these days. The one thing about podcasting about this every week is I can't afford to be behind at any point, really, by more than like a chapter. I never
It's
get to
gotta
marathon.
It's got to be hard too with there's so many details that everyone will focus on, and it could be one of those things once again where it's like a Kawina Tashigi, where it's like, I really forgot I did that, where it's like, yeah, he can teleport, and they're going to be like, oh, did I say that? Nah, he just,
Yeah.
the machine was working.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the machine's busted.
yeah, it was busted, and well, he likes, I don't know if he purposely puts that down, if it's so much information he forgets, or if it's kind of like little red herrings to just be like, oh,
Yeah.
or just like, I did that, so you could, what are you going to follow? That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
bring it out.
Yeah, to be fair, it seemed like it wasn't working super well even when we saw it. So that might have just been, look at the goofy scientist with his inventions that don't completely work. Like, it could have just been a joke. We'll see. Maybe. Or maybe not.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's it for Disc Piece, right?
Yes, it is.
So we're going to move on to our emails. First one, I'll ask this since we have Anthony on. Benjamin says that they got to meet Christina Kelly, who's the voice of Ulti, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they can't see on the podcast that you did the, how do you describe that?
Arm pumps.
He's raising the roof, folks.
Oh, raising the roof.
The roof
that's
is
what I'm going
raised.
for. Oh, superpose. She said she would love to be on the podcast, and I said I would put in a good word. Thank you, Benjamin. Yeah, we'll ask her. I don't know if she'll be in anything in the future because I'm like, the Ulti stuff is also done, but I don't. As I said, if there are any voice actors who are caught up in the manga, we would love to have them on. I'll put out the open casting call here, just because it's easier for us to talk about that, and that's why we didn't have voice actors on for a little while. But then all the voice actors caught up, and now it's like, yay, we could have everyone. I love interviewing, but also like they have their own panels and I don't want too much redundancy, even though I'm sure there won't be. Also, what is your favorite inside joke from the podcast? I'm excited and ready to hear your thoughts. I am. Josh and Anthony are the two people to have this on for.
Yeah,
we'll ask that question. Ask that question again, Ben, in a future week. Okay, Ryan says, a banger chapter today with Kuma and Luffy versus Kizaru. I just did the math, and it took Akainu 517 chapters to do something other than sit at his desk and bitch about whatever happens at the end of every arc since Marineford, plus all the movie appearances where he's like, Marines do X. It is funny that while he's fighting Kuma, he's also getting bitched at by the Celestial Dragons, and he's probably, Josh is breaking down here, and he's probably thinking, oh, why did I take this job? Couldn't happen to a more deserving person. Hope you all have a great week. Agreed. The worst punishment you could get is a desk job that you really hate. Having had those, I mean,
he's just doing his best as an administrator.
Mountains of paperwork and bureaucracy.
The more people say these kind of things, the more I'm like, that is perfect. What great, like, subtle punishment he's undergoing. He leaves to get yelled at because the lobster is no longer available.
Honey, it's time for your 4 p.m. shaming by the Celestial Dragons.
Akainu, can you use your lava to heat this boiling pot of lobsters? Thank you.
Those are the emails. I think we have Reddit too. Let's see. We've been very bad with taking questions because our episodes have all been going long, but this week we actually haven't. Let's see. Oh, Avatar Calamity we'll start with on Reddit, the subreddit archipelago. If there was another Decks of the World cover stories featuring East Blue villains reacting to Luffy and the crew's current bounties, how do you think each of them would react? Would Axehand Morgan be angry? Would Erlong be secretly proud of Nami's accomplishments? It would be cool to see this again sometime soon. Erlong did have, like, and rewatching the stuff in the live action, like, a weird pride in Nami because I guess he kind of may have seen her as, like, his protege.
Sure.
So I don't, even though obviously that's not how Nami.
I mean, I think that would be the most, like, nuanced, right? Because I could see Kuro just kind of, like, turning off the transponder sales.
Yes, Kuro's not interested in that.
I don't need this anymore. I don't need this energy.
Kuro, as we've said, is the 401k villain. He just wants to retire.
100%. I wouldn't be surprised if Don Krieg forgot.
We forgot Tom Krieg. Why wouldn't he forget?
I'm sure he gets his ass kicked frequently, so this is just one of them for him.
What about Pearl? Oh, no, Steve's not here to talk about Pearl.
What's Alvida doing?
Alvida's still with Bucky. She works for an emperor. She's with
that's
Bucky's
right.
crew.
She's with the Cross Guild.
Yeah, she's in the Cross Guild.
Yeah.
She's like in the background of all the Cross Guild pages.
Do you think is Django still alive? Did he die?
Yeah, Django and Full Body are with Hina right now, I think. I think they were in those chapters, like in the background again.
Yeah. See, that's why like my brain is trying to be like, have I seen them or did I just fever dream them?
Yeah, I think the only major villains that are not in the main story, like even Helmeppo was just with Garp, is what did I say? Axan Morgan, who I don't think would care. He'd be angry. He's angry at everything.
He's been court-martialed by this point, for sure.
No, he was no. So in the cover story, he was supposed to be sent to prison, and then he escaped with. Did he like actually end up escaping? Because there's that whole thing. I don't know. I have to go back and read East Blue. It's been a while.
A precocious child could defeat Axion Morgan, and he did.
Yeah. Let's go to the next question. That's a good one, though, because I have not thought much about them. 23 Years Virgin says, "Hey, OPP. The other day, I don't know how you all get these names. I was listening to the openings of One Piece with a friend, and we came across opening number 25. And personally, it has everything that an opening needs: a good song, good quality animation. So my question is, if you have seen any fan-made anime music videos, AMVs, for those that don't know, sorry, Josh. If you have seen any of them that are really good to share, is this I guess the video they linked is an AMV. Okay, answer for Vero.
It's the one that they play for me every time I have to see them. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It is a Luffy Sanji shipping video. Okay, but it's
I'm sorry.
But it's set to a guy doing a cover of Taylor Swift's Love Story, where he changes all the pronouns because he's a guy and it's not gay. So it's Luffy and Sanji through Whole Cake and like some stuff from like Baratier and whatever, and they make me watch it every time I see them. So that's what comes to mind first.
That sounds like Vero. I haven't watched AMVs in a while. The ones I loved when I was a early fan were the Owned Piece videos, where I think they just took, it was like little sketches, and they did like, it's been a very long time since I watched AMVs.
Anthony, what's your favorite AMV?
I'll be honest. I used to hang out in high school in the AV class. One other guy and I were really big into Dragon Ball, so I would sit with him when they would go to pep rallies, and he's like, "I'm actually gonna make a video." It was God, and to date myself, when I was in high school. That was when the Namek saga, I think, was going on. Namek into Cell. So,
yeah, that's when I think that was around when I was, yeah.
So it was peak time to put images of Goku going Super Saiyan to the song Mortal Kombat from the titular movie Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat! And then switching to his legs getting bigger, and then
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, and then when it's like Scorpion, and then we'll show like someone like Piccolo shooting his arm down. It was like really dumb. But man, if I could get into
Those
it,
were the days.
I would absolutely be making just anything from One Piece. I'd be making AMVs.
I don't know. I hope I'm not spoiling this for Sam, who's our anime recap host here. I think he has been planning through the entire Wano. He's been putting together an AMV for Wano, and he's really good. So I'm looking forward to that. And he doesn't do many, but when he does, they're good. Yeah, I need to. It's been a while. I loved them in high school, and I don't remember any of them. You couldn't. I really don't. Next question is from Fu Perante. What do you want them to do with Chopper in the live action? If it were up to you, I'll ask, what would you want?
Go ahead. You want me to go? Okay. I was going to say. I have always been a fan of like Industrial Light and Magic, Jim Henson Creature Shop, like when they did Hitchhiker's Guide or anything that Henson has done. I think there is you either go full awesome puppet, moving stuff, like that's where your budget goes, or you do like the Sweet Tooth route, that Netflix show where it's the little boy who played Kid Sanji with the deer horns, and you kind of do a more deer boy looking, like a little makeup, maybe make his face a little more deer like,
I didn't
but
think of that.
kind of go like, oh, the human fruit. So yeah, he's gonna look like a little, and that might drive home the fact that Chopper is an 8-year-old a little bit more. I think if you have maybe like a Kobe looking Chopper who's kind of a youngish kind of boy, and then for any of the points you turn him into like, oh, here's an actual deer with a hat on.
I would like to see
That's not a bad
concept
idea.
images of that. I hadn't
Yeah.
thought of that. I want to see images. I want them on my desk by Monday. Is what I'm saying.
Okay,
photos of
okay.
Spider-Man.
Let's get it. Get me photos of Boy Chopper.
Get me photos of Boy Chopper.
Don't say it like that.
Gross.
I would say I agree about the puppet. I think that would be probably the most fun.
Yeah, I agree.
But my funniest idea is the Who Framed Roger Rabbit style thing, where it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
Chopper. It's just cartoon Chopper with the live action kids.
That
I
would
think
be
that'd fun.
great.
That would be great. Never in a million years is that happening, though. I could definitely tell. Yeah, I am totally. I think I've said many times, and it might have been from a fan, but it's been ingrained in my brain. Just I never like. Look, I'm very happy the live action's doing well. Keep going. Good on you. All I've ever wanted for an adaptation of One Piece was a Muppet adaptation of One Piece where everyone's a Muppet except for Robin. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that doesn't exist in this world just angers and saddens me. So yeah, Muppets is the answer. But
There you go.
everyone Iñaki could do a Muppet. It's perfect. Or Colleen could do the Muppet.
There you go.
Yeah, let's just get this to happen. It's never gonna happen. What do we have on Twitter? I don't know if you want to do the Ed thing too.
I'll try it. This is a sense memory of what Ed does, but it's something
Okay.
like Peace the tweet.
I'm so glad you had your video on for that, and that no one else is gonna be able to see.
Yeah, well, you can't just say that without,
No, you have to.
That's what he does, I bet.
I bet you it is. I don't know.
Okay. Just a couple here.
This is the last of the Anthony. Don't worry. Last of the questions.
Oh, don't worry. Nah, and then
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, so Gabe Ruiz asks, "Hi OPP. Bonnie was also thrown out of the laser grid. Is she fighting all those Marines outside herself? Will Daddy Kuma help or pull a deadbeat dad and avoid Bonnie?"
I think she's still in the laser grid. My conception
thought-
of it is you like hit a wall basically,
Yeah,
blow
like,
up, and if you survive,
I was thinking it was like a bug zapper type situation. I think you just sort of. Although doesn't Luffy say he went through the force
yeah, I
field
didn't
twice?
get that. I didn't. I meant to bring that up. I don't get what that was supposed to refer to.
Maybe you do go through it.
If
Maybe
But
it's
it's not
two
a-
layars.
It's not a very good force field if you can go through it.
yeah,
That's a good
or
point.
maybe from inside to out you can leave, and not from outside to in.
Oh,
So that way,
yeah.
because that would be cool if Bonnie gets thrown and then Kuma's
come
there
back
to
in.
catch her.
Yeah. If Kuma's going to Egghead,
That's a little
I
too
definitely
perfect.
think-
Like that feels like that's. I mean, sure, it's a fictional
We've seen
story.
weirder. We've seen weirder.
In One Piece. It doesn't sound right.
No.
No, everything's been very on the level. Just a little bit spicy, but on the level.
A little.
Josh,
Our final piece of tweet comes from Shaheen. It seems this arc, every ex-admiral has history with somebody older and younger. Aokiji with Garp and Kobe, Kizaru with Vegapunk and Sentomaru. Do you think Akainu has history with Kuma and Bonnie, specifically after remembering when Akainu had Bonnie trapped before time skip? So I guess that was that flashback.
the only background he has is with paperwork and staplers, and
That's it.
That's it. He has to fight with the older paperwork and the younger paperwork. Inbox and the outbox. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good observation. Sure. I mean, it seems like everybody has history with Kuma at this point, so why not?
Yeah. Kuma has always been one of the most fascinating characters in the story to me. And that's, I think, why I like the cutaway. Kuzan and Kuma are like top non-Straw Hat characters for me, particularly in I want to know more about them. But just generally, they're some of my favorites. So it's fun seeing them both in the story. Like if you told me about this entire arc 10 years ago, I'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? That really sounds like a fanfic when you're like, oh, and Lucci's there and Kizaru's there and Sentomaru.
There's 5 gears.
No, that would be the least ridiculous
it's an
part of that.
excessive amount of gears.
Yeah, that's way too many. Cars only. Wait, no, they have 6. Sometimes and 7. Okay, I think that'll do it for Piece Together. Why don't we round off the show? This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 787 for September 18th. I love the little gathering we've had today. Forget all those other people, right? That's
Look
what
at
I
our
say.
little family.
Yeah. We have a little found family here. By that I mean I invited you all on the show. Anthony, where could people find you, your work, anything else that you want people to know about?
I mean, I'm always down to talk One Piece. I love One Piece. That's what I've been working on. If you want to keep watching it, man, we've got a lot of great episodes coming up. And I always say, in any form, support One Piece. It's a great show, and just the more you support it, the more we get. That's
And
that.
also,
Yeah. Go ahead.
and all the people who have made it possible.
Absolutely.
Which should go without saying. People.
Yeah. But yeah, the teams, the effort of everyone behind it. So man, just keep supporting that. I mean, we have new episodes coming out on Crunchyroll. Usually they're coming up on the Microsoft Store. I think right now they have episodes 1001 through 12, which is awesome because we're getting close to one of my favorites, 1015. That beautiful.
Oh yeah.
episode.
That's the Ishitani one, right?
Yes, and I don't think it's telling tales out of school to say I got to direct that one. So
Nice.
I'm very excited. This is
Took it from Emily.
Well, it was one of those where I was coming off of Film Red, and this was one of the few times that I was like, hey, I would like to take everything that I've kind of learned because this is a very cool, important episode. And even looking at the length we have right now, man, it's we have a lot of these conglomerate episodes, these flashbacks, these new animations. So man, just looking for that. I'm on Twitter at bowling4day or for anime. Bowling my last name, the number 4, and then anime at bowling for anime. And yeah, I mean, I play Kawamatsu in the show. And
Support your local Kawamatsu merchandise.
support your local Kawamatsu. He's a good boy. Has gotten a lot of good close-ups in the recent episodes. And man, I mean, I'm a voice actor too, so I mean, we got Spy Family coming up. I play Frankie in that right now. Devils Apart Timer is out, and I play Alpha in that right now. I got to do some Duke of Death this season. What else is coming out? Just a lot of those things. I mean, we're always working, but I mean, I'm always going to be the One Piece cheerleader and say just support that. And I love when people watch the dub and let us know, because that's how we connect with fans and know, yeah, we're doing it. We love to hear that feedback, even though it can be hard sometimes. It's anime, it's online, but man, I wouldn't change anything, man, good or the bad. That's why.
I think podcasting feels the same way, where you're talking in a void. Like it's just the 3 of us in a room right now. And then and there are actually a bunch of people listening, and you don't really realize that unless you hear. So it's always great to hear. Or, terrible if someone's saying something bad, but yeah.
No, but
Just don't say bad
even then
stuff.
they're listening. That's what's important.
It's a good podcast, you guys.
Well, yeah, and you're bringing a lot of like I loved hearing that episode with Major and Bill, and
Oh yeah, that was
I
so
mean
much fun.
it's the love of that comes from it. Like that's what it's about. Like when you can have that and then hear them talk about how fun the show is. It's like, wait, so you guys are cool and you like what I like?
Yeah, I like that. That's what the podcast has been. It's like a group of people, and then we get to bring in people who also like what we like and talk about it. Um, yeah, Josh, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram making cartoons. User Ramons AMONNS. And since I have a little bit of extra time, folks, if you like movies, I am always on Letterboxd talking about movies. It's my only hobby. User Ramons AMONNS.
And you have another podcast, don't you? I'm trying to help you promote things.
You are helping, yeah. If you really like movies, and I mean in like a weird way, my co-host Craig, Alex, and I have a podcast called Swim Fans. It's a movie podcast. I don't usually talk about it on OPP because I feel like different crowds. But if you like movies, we talk about them all the time.
The one thing I've learned is that the Venn diagram is always bigger, or more intermixed than you think.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had Shannon Strucci on several times. We just had Joey Weiser on not that long ago. So we have some OPP guests and crewmates over there too. So if you like movies, we got movies.
We don't have No, we do have movies. We have One Piece movies here.
We have One Piece movies.
Speaking of, I saw movie 9. I think for at least a limited time is free on YouTube from the official One Piece channel for those in the US and Canada. So
Word.
Check that out. And there's a lot of, and I know Emily too did One Piece Film Red.
She was helming. I think this was right when she was jumping on Wano.
Okay.
I think she might have done some help with some Walla, like some AD, but I don't know if she was
That's
on
the best stuff.
Yeah.
I know that Mike definitely stepped in, and Michelle helped with that too. But
okay, cool.
I think Film Red, Film Gold, Film Z, and another also just were released on Crunchy and
Netflix too. I think
Netflix,
a bunch of
yeah.
them. I don't think Red is on Netflix yet. They got a lot of. I mean, makes sense.
But
they got a lot of the.
Yeah, they got all those. They got all those episode movies, and Strong World Z, Gold.
The one that says Ace is dead in it, right? Isn't there like one? It's like, wow.
Spoiler right there, just like
like I don't even know who this is, but he's dead. Yeah, please check those out. I love Red, and I love all those movies. Zed is the one that makes me cry though. Yeah. Oh God, it's the old man crying movie. I love it. You can check us out at onepiecepodcast.com, which I update way too much, so you could always check that out. We're on every social media platform at One Piece Podcast. We're on Twitter. That's what it's called. I don't care what anyone else says. We're on Blue Sky at onepiecepodcast.com, Instagram at One Piece Podcast. The other social medias, we don't have a TikTok unless Vero decides to do that. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. And you could call us at our phone number, which is 347-497-MAJI. That phone number again, 347-497-6254. Call anytime with your impression of Ben Crosby Kizaru. This week on Wednesday night, we're going to be releasing the next episode of OPLA, which is, yes, it's a pun on Opa. And I'm not ashamed of my bad pun. You could check that out with STEVEN MAEDA, the showrunner of One Piece, the live action series. Please listen to that. That's fun. We also have Steve and Vero. Hopefully we'll have their episode 3 and 4 recap and review, which I am looking forward to them diving into the Kuro arc there. And next week, we actually have another manga chapter. I can't remember the last time we've had 2 of those in a row. I will not be here, but Roger and Roger's Base and Mike Patton, friend of the show, will be on for that episode. And it'll be like the inverse of this. Josh and me will be gone, and everyone else will be here.
So it's bad. and
Maybe
you shouldn't
Anthony
listen.
will
I'm
be
just
here.
kidding,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
kidding.
Yeah, I'll show up random.
Yeah, just unannounced. Thank you both for coming on the show. And until next week, my name is Zach. We'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know who I'm waving at.
My name is Josh.
Thank you.
All right.